In the final weeks before the exams, the air in hundreds of thousands of Iraqi homes goes completely still. Everything hinges on a single number. Yet in the streets outside those homes a few years later, those same students, now holding prestigious degrees, protesting for jobs they were told were guaranteed. This is the result of the central admission system. It operates as a rigid sorting machine, categorizing youth strictly by a decimal point on a test score, ignoring individual talent. This chart tracks the rising flood of graduates against a stagnant flatline of state jobs, leaving over 25% locked out entirely. And for those who find work, nearly 70% are in fields completely unrelated to their degrees. The foundational promise of the Iraqi system, that academic obedience guarantees lifelong security, is broken. Here in Baghdad, the weight of that broken contract falls heavily on the family unit. Desperate to secure a safe future, parents take on massive, crippling debt to pay for private tutoring and secondary academic institutes. They are purchasing a sense of control, an expensive illusion that they can manipulate a final standardized test score. They do this to buy their way into traditional state-run industries, like the oil and public sectors. But those industries are saturated. The infrastructure is vast, but the payrolls are full. They simply cannot absorb new generations. Families are going bankrupt to purchase a ticket to a labor market that effectively no longer exists. Step inside the classroom and you see exactly how the system is engineered. Rows of students, identically focused on mass-produced exams. The curriculum strictly rewards memorization. It treats critical thinking and deviation from the textbook as errors to be penalized. This creates a massive disconnect, known as the skills gap. What the universities relentlessly test for is perfectly misaligned with what modern employers actually need. A functional modern economy requires adaptability, rapid iteration, and complex problem solving. But those exact traits are actively suppressed by the rigid pipeline of rote learning. The institutional pipeline actively strips students of the creative instincts required for real-world survival, leaving them less prepared than when they first entered the classroom. By the time these students reach the university campus, the institution itself functions mostly as a facade. The college experience has devolved into a superficial identity. It is a culture built on brand-name clothing and long hours at cafes, masking the fact that no actual professional preparation is happening inside the lecture halls. The reality check usually happens a few weeks after graduation. When a student sits down to build a resume, they realize that beneath the bold heading of their degree, there are massive blank spaces where practical projects and internships should be. The confident social persona they built on campus fractures, replaced by a deep, quiet anxiety as they face an empty professional future. With no marketable skills to offer private employers, the only remaining option is to appeal to state bureaucracies, begging for public sector jobs that are economically impossible for the government to create. The university degree has mutated into a hollow social status symbol, a mark of prestige that carries zero actual economic value. Outside that closed loop, the global economy has moved on. The international tech market has discarded the old metrics entirely. Look at this projection. 65% of the jobs that will be required by the year 2030 did not even exist in 2015. The most valuable companies on Earth have adapted to this. For their highest paying roles, they no longer require a university degree. And this borderless digital economy isn't walled off. It's fully accessible to any youth in Iraq with a laptop and a stable internet connection. The modern global market ignores test scores in favor of proven problem solving. Bypassing the broken system requires a new roadmap. Step 1 is to disconnect. You have to detach your personal self-worth from the number printed on a state exam. Step 2 is discovery. You must look completely outside the state-mandated curriculum to figure out what you are actually inclined to do. Step 3 is upskilling. By utilizing global digital platforms, you can bypass local bottlenecks and acquire high-income capabilities directly from the source. Finally, Step 4 is to build. You must replace the hollow university CV with a tangible public portfolio of real-world projects. True, lasting security cannot be handed down by a government department, and it won't be printed on a piece of paper. It has to be actively built from the inside out.